Hi, I'm Chana. 6 months ago, I gave birth to my beautiful daughter, Lily. And what should have been the most incredible moment of my life turned into something I still have nightmares about. My ex-boyfriend Jake and I had broken up during my second trimester, but he'd promised to be there for the birth. What he didn't mention was that his mother, Valerie, would be there too. "Breathe through it, honey. You're doing great," my best friend Mia encouraged, holding my hand through another contraction. "I don't think I can do this," I panted, sweat dripping down my forehead. "Where's Jake? He said he'd be here." The door swung open, and Jake appeared with his mother right behind him. The look on her face, disapproval mixed with determination, sent a chill through me despite the heat of labor. "Finally," I gasped. "Jake, I need—" "Chana, Mom wanted to be here. Is that okay?" Jake asked. But Valerie was already positioning herself on my other side, opposite Mia. Mia frowned. "Chana didn't put her on the approved visitor list." "I'm family," Valerie declared, her voice sharp and authoritative. "This is my grandchild." The next contraction hit before I could respond, and I screamed, squeezing Mia's hand. "That's not how we do this," Valerie hissed. "You're being dramatic. Women have been having babies for centuries without all this noise." Jake shifted uncomfortably. "Mom, maybe now's not the time." "She needs guidance," Valerie insisted. "Her own mother isn't here, and someone needs to show her how to behave properly." My nurse, Sarah, stepped in. "Ma'am, I need to ask you to step back. The patient gets to decide how she labors." "Nonsense," Valerie replied. The next contraction hit, and I cried out again. Before Sarah could intervene, Valerie placed her hand firmly over my mouth. "Quiet! You'll upset the baby. She needs to come into a peaceful environment." I struggled against her hand, unable to breathe properly, panic rising as I tried to remove her grip. Jake just stood there, frozen. "Get her off me!" I managed to shout when her hand slipped. Sarah called for security while Mia pulled at Valerie's arm. "Let go of her right now!" "This child might not even be Jake's," Valerie announced loudly. "She's not accepting this baby into our family until we have proof." Finally, Jake snapped out of his stupor. "Mom, stop it! This is crazy!" Security arrived and escorted Valerie out, her protests echoing down the hallway. "That baby isn't ours to accept. Jake, come with me." After a moment of hesitation, Jake followed his mother. Later that night, as I held my newborn daughter, Mia sat beside me, still shaken. "I can't believe what happened," she said quietly. "Are you okay?" "No," I replied, looking down at Lily's perfect face. "But I will be. What Valerie did was assault, and I'm not letting her anywhere near my daughter again." "What about Jake?" "He made his choice when he walked out with her," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "Now I need to make mine." 3 weeks after Lily's birth, I sat in my living room with my older sister Nina, Mia, and Sarah, the nurse who had become a friend after standing up for me during labor. "The hospital administration wants to meet with you," Sarah explained, balancing a sleeping Lily in her arms. "They take this kind of incident very seriously. It's considered patient abuse." "You should definitely pursue this," Nina said firmly. Her background as a family lawyer made her perspective particularly valuable. What Valerie did was assault, plain and simple, and the hospital needs to review their security procedures. "Jake's been texting me," I admitted, scrolling through the messages. "He wants to see Lily and keeps saying his mom is just old-fashioned and didn't mean any harm." Mia rolled her eyes. "She accused you of cheating and physically restrained you during labor. That's not old-fashioned, that's criminal." "Has he apologized for his own behavior?" Nina asked, her voice measured and calm as always. I shook my head. "He says he was caught in the middle and didn't know what to do." "Classic enabler," Sarah commented. "I see it all the time with difficult family members in the hospital." "Exactly what my ex-husband used to say," Nina added. "Being caught in the middle is just code for choosing not to stand up for what's right." My phone rang. Jake again. After a moment's hesitation, I answered and put it on speaker. "Chana, please, can we talk?" Jake's voice filled the room. "We're talking now," I replied. "I mean in person. Mom feels terrible about what happened." Nina caught my eye and shook her head slightly. Does she? I asked, because she hasn't reached out to apologize. Well, you know how she is. She's not great at saying sorry, but she wants to see the baby. The baby she claimed might not be yours? The baby she said wasn't hers to accept? There was a long pause. She was just stressed. Family is really important to her. Jake, I said, feeling suddenly very tired. Do you even understand what happened that day? It got out of hand, but your mother assaulted me during one of the most vulnerable moments of my life, then questioned our daughter's paternity in front of medical staff, and you left with her. What was I supposed to do? She's my mother. Sarah handed Lily to Mia and leaned forward. And Kana is the mother of your child. She needed you. Who's that? Jake demanded. Do you have me on speakerphone? Yes, I admitted. I'm with friends who actually supported me that day. This is private, Hana. I can't believe you're airing our dirty laundry to everyone. Nina spoke up. As Chana's attorney, I'm advising her to document everything regarding this incident. Your mother's actions have legal implications. Attorney? Are you serious? Jake's voice rose. You're going to sue my mother? Over a misunderstanding? It wasn't a misunderstanding, I said firmly. And I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing it for Lily and for other patients who might face similar situations. What happened was wrong, Jake. You're being vindictive, he snapped. This isn't you, Kana. My mother was right. You've changed. Yes, I have, I agreed. I became a mother, and mothers protect their children from people who don't respect boundaries. After hanging up, I looked around at the 3 women who had become my support system. You did good, Nina said with approval. Now let's talk about next steps. The hospital conference room felt intimidatingly formal with its long table and leather chairs. Hospital administrator Dr. Reynolds sat at the head, with the head of obstetrics Dr. Patel beside her. My sister Nina accompanied me as my legal representative, while Sarah sat nearby as a witness. Valerie and Jake sat across from us, along with an older man introduced as their family attorney, Mr. Grayson. Dr. Reynolds opened the meeting. We're here to discuss the incident that occurred during Chana Mitchell's delivery. Our goal is to understand what happened and determine appropriate next steps. This whole thing has been blown out of proportion, Valerie interjected immediately. Her pearl necklace gleamed as she sat rigidly upright, hands clasped on the table. I was simply trying to help an inexperienced mother through a difficult time. Nina spoke before I could. By covering her mouth during active labor and making defamatory statements about my sister's character? Mr. Grayson cleared his throat. Mrs. Lewis was understandably concerned about her potential grandchild and reacted emotionally to a stressful situation. She wasn't on the approved visitor list, Sarah pointed out. And when asked to step back by medical staff, she refused. Dr. Patel leaned forward. Our labor and delivery protocols exist for good reason. Interfering with a patient's care is a serious matter. Jake finally spoke up. Chana, can't we handle this privately? You know my mom. She's always been intense, but she means well. I took a deep breath. Meaning well doesn't excuse what she did, and this isn't the first time she's overstepped. It's just the first time I couldn't walk away. You're being ridiculous, Valerie said dismissively. In my day, we respected our elders. We understood family comes first. Lily is my family, I replied, surprised by how steady my voice remained. And I'm hers. You questioned that fundamental fact while physically restraining me. I was helping you remain dignified, Valerie insisted, her voice rising. And yes, I had questions about the baby's paternity. Any concerned grandmother would... Based on what evidence? Nina asked. Valerie waved her hand. A mother knows. Jake told me they were having problems. Jake shifted uncomfortably. I never said she cheated, Mom. You didn't have to. I know how these young women operate, Dr. Reynolds interrupted. Mrs. Lewis, these accusations are inappropriate and frankly irrelevant to the matter at hand. I have a proposal, I said, looking directly at Valerie for the first time since entering the room. I want a formal apology, documented in my medical records. I want the hospital to review their security protocols, and I want a restraining order keeping Valerie away from me and Lily. Valerie gasped. A restraining order? This is absurd. Jake, are you going to let her keep your daughter from me? Jake looked torn. Chana, that seems extreme, can't we? If you want to be in Lily's life, I continued, you'll need to respect this boundary. Your mother assaulted me. She can't be trusted around our daughter. Assault? Valerie stood up, her chair scraping loudly. How dare you? I was trying to help you. Jake, we're leaving. This ungrateful girl is trying to destroy our family. Mrs. Lewis, Dr. Patel said firmly, the hospital has already documented this as a patient assault incident. The security footage confirms it. Security footage? Jake asked, looking suddenly pale. Dr. Reynolds nodded. All labor and delivery rooms have security cameras for precisely these types of situations. Mr. Grayson placed a restraining hand on Valerie's arm. Perhaps we should take a brief recess to discuss options. As they stepped outside, Nina squeezed my hand. You're doing great. Stay strong. I never thought I'd be in this position, I admitted. Standing up to Jake's family was always hard, but now you're not just standing up for yourself, Sarah finished. You're standing up for Lily, too. 20 minutes later, they returned. Valerie looked subdued, Jake confused, and Mr. Grayson professional. My client is prepared to issue a formal apology, Mr. Grayson stated. She recognizes that her actions, while well-intentioned, crossed a line. Well-intentioned? I echoed. Valerie's jaw tightened, but she remained silent as Mr. Grayson continued. Mrs. Lewis will agree to maintain distance, though we find a restraining order excessive and potentially damaging to family relationships. The family relationship was damaged when Mrs. Lewis put her hand over my client's mouth during labor, Nina countered. A restraining order simply formalizes the boundaries needed moving forward. Jake finally found his voice. Chana, please. She's still Lily's grandmother. I looked at him, really looked at the man I'd once thought I'd spend my life with. Biology doesn't entitle someone to a relationship, Jake. Trust and respect do. If you want to be in Lily's life, you need to understand that. 6 months after Lily's birth, I sat in the park with Mia, watching Lily sleep peacefully in her stroller. The legal proceedings were finally over. The hospital had updated their security protocols. Valerie had been issued a formal warning, and a temporary restraining order was in place. How's the new visitation schedule working out with Jake? Mia asked, handing me a coffee. Better than expected, I admitted. He's actually showing up for his scheduled times, and he hasn't mentioned bringing Valerie around again. The court-mandated parenting classes must be helping. I nodded. I think it's the first time he's had to really think about what healthy boundaries look like. His mother dominated everything for so long. My phone buzzed with a text from Nina. Judge approved the permanent order. We won. Good news? Mia asked, seeing my expression. The best. The restraining order against Valerie is permanent. She can't come near me or Lily without facing serious consequences. How does it feel? I thought for a moment. Like I can breathe again. Like I know I did the right thing for my daughter. We spotted Sarah walking toward us, waving. She'd become a close friend through everything that had happened. Hey, Mama! She greeted me with a hug before peering into the stroller. How's our little fighter today? Growing too fast, I laughed. The doctor says she's in the 90th percentile for height. Just got off my shift and heard through the grapevine that your case has changed hospital policy, Sarah said. They're implementing new training for all L&D staff on handling difficult family situations. You've made a difference, Kiana. That's amazing, Mia exclaimed. Your horrible experience is actually going to help other women. That's all I wanted, I admitted. Well, that and keeping Lily safe? Sarah sat down beside us. Have you heard from Jake recently? He called yesterday, said he's been thinking a lot about what happened. He actually apologized, really apologized for not standing up for me that day. Wow, Mia looked impressed. That's progress. It is. He's even started seeing a therapist to work through his relationship with his mother. I never thought he'd do that. People can surprise you, Sarah said thoughtfully. Sometimes it takes a crisis to see clearly. Speaking of clarity, I began. I've been thinking about starting a support group for new moms dealing with boundary issues. The hospital social worker thinks it could help a lot of women. Mia nodded enthusiastically. You'd be perfect for that. After everything you've been through, you have so much to share. I don't feel like an expert, I admitted. Some days I still doubt whether I did the right thing. You protected your daughter, Sarah said firmly. You stood up for yourself when you were at your most vulnerable. That took incredible courage. As Lily began to stir, I lifted her from the stroller, cradling her against my chest. Her tiny hand wrapped around my finger, and I felt that familiar rush of love and protectiveness. The funny thing is, I said quietly, I never thought I was strong enough to stand up to someone like Valerie. I always tried to please everyone, avoid conflict. Motherhood changes you, Sarah observed. It really does, I agreed. I realized I wasn't just fighting for myself anymore. Every boundary I set now shapes the world Lily grows up in, teaches her what she should accept from others. Lily opened her eyes and gave me a gummy smile that melted my heart. You know, Mia said, what you did wasn't about revenge. It was about justice and protection. There's a difference. I thought about that as I looked down at my daughter. The past 6 months had been challenging beyond anything I could have imagined. But they had also shown me my own strength, the value of true friendship, and the power of standing firm in what I knew was right. The boundaries we set define the lives we lead, I said, remembering something Nina had told me. I'm just glad Lily will grow up knowing hers matter. As we sat together in the afternoon sunshine, I realized that although the path forward wouldn't always be easy, it was clear. And for the first time in a long time, I was excited to walk it.